Too often I hear about people dissatisfied about their lives, okay? And what's even worse is they don't know how to come from it. So much dissatisfaction with their job or career, home life, relationships. I mean, you can name it. Or they're just not satisfied with themselves. And then here I come along and I ask, so do you journal? And as y'all can imagine, most times I get the same response. No. Journaling your thoughts and feelings can literally change your life. And here are a few tips on how to start, okay? Well, hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Janae Singletary and I am here to help guide you on your journey to true happiness, okay? Now, if you haven't already, make sure y'all go ahead and check out my first video where I went ahead and gave y'all a little introduction as to who I am and where I'm from and what I'm talking about, okay? Because as your future life coach, I think it's important for you to know who I am. So listen, I am a true believer that knowing what you want out of life, what you desire, is the key to ultimate happiness, okay? Because knowing what you want out of life is literally the first step. Once you know that, you can go ahead and move on to trying to figure out how to get it. So if you're at that stage in your life where if somebody comes up to you and they ask you what are your hobbies or what is your 5-year goal plan and you don't have an answer, it's time to fix that. It is time to take the time out to discover you. Okay? And the best way to do that is through journaling, writing down your feelings and your emotions. Okay? If you do this with true transparency, it allows you to really get to know yourself. And listen, I can't express enough how good this feeling feels. Okay? To be able to tell somebody what I want, what I don't want, what I like, what I don't like. It can even give you those warning signs to when you're about to go down that spiral of poor mental health. And when you understand how you feel about yourself and the people and the things around you, it gives you the ability to be able to better articulate how you feel to others, okay? This level of emotional maturity is the key to better communication throughout your relationships, your jobs, your friendships, your man. And believe it or not, it allows you to be creative, okay? Once you start exploring certain things that you might want to do and actually get out there and do it, you're more inclined to try more and more new things, okay? So if you're someone like me who suffers from depression or anxiety and you're sitting on that couch and you're thinking about all these things that you want to do, once you start actually writing it down and exploring all these ideas and how it might make you feel in the moment and thinking about your mindfulness, it really will get you up off that couch to doing those things, okay? And if you're just confused about life overall, where you want to go, who you want to be with, what job you want to have, journaling about how you feel, journaling about what you want, journaling about where you see yourself at and how you think you might get there. That is going to be the key to you getting what you want. All too often I hear people afraid to set goals because they're afraid to fail. But once you start writing down what it is that you want and then you start coming up with these ideas of how you're going to get there, you really start to believe that you can actually achieve these things. But it all starts with writing it down. And once you discover your values through writing down what's important to you, what it is that you want, you start realizing how to keep those things or even how to get them so that you can keep them and hold on to them because you find that they are actually valuable to you. You even begin to set those specific boundaries that need to be set in order for you to hold on to those values. You might have to let certain people go or even put your foot down and tell certain people no. Okay. So true story on how I use journaling, not only for myself, of course, like that's easy. I can say that all day long. You know, I've said that in my past video. You know, I use journaling for myself to discover who I am and what it is that I want. And one of the biggest things that I discovered was that I wanted to be a great mother, right? And I realized that I was having an issue with my oldest child, my daughter. So the way that I used journaling within our relationship was I also sat her down and I got her to journal. And really quickly, I realized that having her to journal and me to journal as well and kind of answer the same questions and share our responses to each other, it helped both of us. It helped both of us to not only understand ourselves and why we respond the way that we do, but also understand each other. I was able to say, okay, Zion, okay, that's why you did that. And then be able to set a boundary with her and let her know, okay, now that you understand that this is not okay, it's not okay. You can't do it anymore. So then when we go back to it, if she does do it again, I'm able to point out, hey, do you remember when we sat down and we journaled about this? Yes, mommy. Okay, so this is your accountability here talking, you know? So really quickly, her and I came from a place of not being able to really understand each other or why we were doing or responding in the way we did with each other. We came to a point of really understanding each other. I mean, really quickly. And this was just through journaling and answering a few questions and really being honest. And by being honest, I mean we both had to hold ourselves accountable for what we may have said or done within our mother-daughter relationship. So if she had said or done something disrespectful and I pointed it out to her, she had to accept that. And the same thing vice versa. When she told me, Mommy, I didn't like when you did this or when you did that, I had to accept that. And we both had to make those changes. But the point is, we discovered all this through going our separate ways and writing it down and discovering how we feel about each other and how we want to feel about each other. So as you can imagine, I'm so appreciative of discovering this method of communication with my child, because now every time we have maybe a miscommunication or maybe a bad decision making, we just go right back to journaling. I'll say, Zion, go ahead, get your journal. Let's go ahead and let's write this out. And sometimes we don't even have to get to the point of even writing it out, because I can just point it out to her. I can say, well, Zion, come on now. What could you have done to make a better decision? And she'll even stop right there in her tracks and address it and say it. And I can really appreciate that, because, you know, she's really thinking and she's growing. That's something that I love. So you say, how can you get started? Oh my goodness, y'all. It's easy. I swear to you, it is so easy to get to journaling. First of all, you got to want to do it. That is the number one step. You got to want to see this change and you got to want to make this change. Okay. Secondly, you gotta find a journal that you love. I'm not gonna lie, okay? People will sit there and say, oh, you could just grab a piece of paper and a pen and just get to writing. And that might be nice for some people. But for people like me, listen, I gotta love what I'm writing in. It's gotta be a pretty color. I gotta have some nice pens set aside. You know what I'm saying? Go treat yourself to something nice to write in, because the more you feel good about what you're writing in, the more you're gonna wanna pick it up and open it up and write in it, okay? And then you're gonna want to set a specific time of day, noon, night to write, okay? And you're gonna write at this time every single day, okay? Or as often as you promise yourself to write. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be real important for you to find a time where you have the less distractions as possible, okay? If you got little kids running around, your man or your woman or whoever, okay, is by your side, nagging you, asking you questions, that's the worst time to journal, okay? You're going to want to find a time where you have peace and quiet and time for you to really sit and think about how you feel. And sometimes you might even have to make a little adjustment in your schedule. You might have to wake up a little bit earlier or go to bed a little bit late. But when you realize and accept that this little sacrifice, because it's just a 20-30 minute sacrifice of your time, is more important to you because it's conducive to your mental health, you'll go ahead and make that change and do it willingly, because you'll realize it's good for you. Besides, you'll even realize that you deserve every bit of this alone time, okay? So find you a time, set you a time, and stick to it. Choose how and what you want to write about. And then you can remember that you can switch it up whenever you feel like it. So if you just want to write about what happened to you in that day, go ahead and do so. Because maybe you just need to get out some of your feelings or your emotions. Or if you want to choose journal prompts, right? Which is something that I do quite often. I think it's very nice for me to just go ahead and choose a little prompt and surprise myself with it and just start writing about it and writing about how I feel and what it means to me. You can do either or. Either which way it goes, just make sure that you do it. Okay. Lastly, you just want to make sure that you have fun with it. That is like the most important part. If you don't enjoy whatever it is that you're doing, you're not going to want to do it. And that's why you want to choose a nice looking journal and some nice little pens or whatever it is that makes you feel good about journaling, because you want to have fun. Okay. Now, some of you may say, well, Janae, if you give us all of this information, what will we need you for? What do we need to go ahead and join your program for or whatever? And the key to that is in my Discover You program, which will be out, I'm going to say around March time. Because, listen, I can give you all this information, but the thing is, what do you do with it? How can you come from it, right? That is what a life coach is for. A life coach is there to guide you through all the information that you are receiving on a daily basis. So sure, you can go ahead and jot down all this information, go ahead and journal on your own, and go ahead and try to discover you on your own. That is absolutely possible, because you know what? I did it. Okay, you can go ahead and figure it out, or you can go ahead and come on over and join my mailing subscription, and you can go ahead and get ready for my program that will be coming out in March or towards the end of March. It is the Discover You program, where I help you get this information from yourself, do the work, and figure out what's the next step to actually achieving the goals that you desire. Okay, so listen, I really just want you guys to understand that yes, journaling may take a little bit of your time and dedication, and you may have to switch things around a little bit, but there's nothing more important than how you feel about you and the people and the things around you. Okay, and if you don't understand how you feel, then how can anybody else understand how you feel and how to treat you? Okay, so just remember that how you feel, how you respond, how you plan your future, that's all based on you and the growth and the discovery that you implement on yourself. Okay, life is not meant to be easy, but it's definitely meant to be enjoyed. So if you love on you while you're living, you'll go through life doing all the challenging things that you enjoy. Okay? All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. And make sure you go ahead and like my video and subscribe to my channel, okay? And go ahead and hit the link in my comments to go ahead and subscribe to my mailing list. Okay, y'all? I'll see y'all next time.